It's the Lauri J. Goldstein Show with Lauri J. Goldstein from a law firm of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates in Stewart. Featuring local realtor Diane Chandler from Trade Winds Realty. And now, here's Lauri J. Goldstein, attorney at law.
Well, good morning to you. It is about 10:06 right now on this Thursday edition of the Lauri J. Goldstein Show, and both Lauri and Diane are on assignment today. But we wanted to get in the show because there's a couple of things that we wanted to talk about and bring up for discussion today on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show. Of course, Lauri J. Goldstein is an attorney that's been in business here in the personal injury side of litigation for way over about 20 years, a little over 20 years. I think we're going to go into our over 20 years a little bit later on this year. In fact, I think October will be the anniversary of the Lauri J. Goldstein practice in Stewart, Florida. And Lauri and I have been friends for a long, long time. And I tell you what, when there's injury that happens, you will not find a better representative in any kind of case than the great attorneys that are on board with Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates. So we're proud to have one of them with us in studio today. We have attorney David Aversa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Barry. A pleasure to be back.
And it's always good to have you because you're a veritable treasure of knowledge with the firm and with the process of litigation in personal injury. And how long have you been with Lauri J. Goldstein?
Barry, I've been with Lauri about 5 years now.
And I tell you what, it's been a tremendous opportunity for not only you, but for also for the clients that you've represented from the Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm to have your expertise on their case. We always say that we're working hard for the injured. And we're going to talk about a couple of things today. Also in studio with us, we have Bill West, who is the CEO of Molly's House. Hi, Bill.
Good morning, Barry. How are you?
And, usually I see Bill West in the 9 o'clock show that happens every Monday and Wednesday with Mark Breckbill. But, Bill, this is kind of a new position for you, CEO of Molly's House. And Molly's House is one of those great organizations that is supported in part by the Lauri J. Goldstein firm. And we're just glad to have you part of the show today. And you're going to be telling us a little bit about some of the new things that are happening at Molly's House.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. And speaking of 20th anniversaries, next year will be the 20th anniversary of Molly's House.
So how ironic is that? I mean, 20 years of service to the community, both for the Lauri J. Goldstein firm and also for Molly's House. And, I saw that take place myself with the Sharkey family. We're going to talk about how Molly's House got started and what their main purpose is and what are they doing? Where are they going? And how can we be a part of what's going on with Molly's House, just like what Lauri J. Goldstein's firm does. But first of all, I want to get back to David. And David, one of the things that's also happening today is that later on tonight, the entire area, Treasure Coast area, is invited to the Kiwanis Park grand opening. I call it a grand opening, even though it's one of the oldest parks in Stewart, but it's a grand opening tonight for the No Barrier Park. And this No Barrier Park is one that I know that has been dear to Lauri's heart, and that in the fact that she's done a lot to promote not only the community build that we did with the park. She did a lot of promotional advertising for raising funds for the park, and now it's come to fruition with 5 to 7:30 tonight. The entire community is invited to come on out and take a look at this park. And when it's a no barrier park, we're talking about people who are physically challenged, and you're talking about young people. And so one of the questions that I wanted to address with you, David, here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show was when children are injured I mean, obviously, children can't go out and say, "Well, I need to hire an attorney." Mom and Dad, we need to hire Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates. But what is the process for parents who have, let's say, a child that gets injured? Let's say somebody gets hurt on a ball field, or they're hurt on a skateboard, and or they're hurt, in various ways that kids can, they slip and fall just like older people do. What's the process for parents to follow?
Well, Barry, the first thing would be for a consultation with an attorney from our firm. When you have a child involved, they're not of the legal capacity to represent themselves, so you need a parent or guardian, legal guardian or natural parent, to actually hire the lawyer and to negotiate the settlement with the lawyer, accept the settlement, and then execute the settlement documents. With children in Florida, there's a statute that says if the settlement is of such a dollar amount, it has to be court approved. Our firm takes care of all that paperwork to get the court approval on the settlement. And then we also are starting to see more people take advantage of structured settlements or annuities in the case of a child's case, whereby they have a consultation with the financial advisor and they determine what the best financial needs of the child are going to be, maybe college tuition or whatever the case may be. Sometimes there are special needs medically due to the injuries they suffer. So they can come up with a financial strategy that is going to best serve the needs of that particular child.
Right, because sometimes, when you get into these settlements, there are other expenses that are involved. You have medical bills and that sort of thing, but actually the whole firm and what your process is to do the best for the client. The client, yes, technically are the parents, but the real true client would be the person that was injured. Correct?
Correct.
Yes. So it would be the child. And looking out for the child's interest is what you were talking about, is to make sure that they have something in the way of something to look forward to once they get to the point of where they're going to college and going on with their life. And that's an important factor. And that's something that happens with the Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm, and that's great. There are people. We just got a news story in just this morning that last night, former President, Bush, and I'm talking about, the father of George W. and Jeb Bush, fell and broke a bone in his neck, and those kind of things happen when you're elderly, and here he is, 91 years of age, but it can happen to anyone. I mean, you can be in middle age and fall. What's the situation with that? What are the steps that you need to take if you, let's say, have a slip and fall? You're not elderly, you're not a child, but what's the process there?
Well, Barry, we see fractured vertebrae cases fairly often, and it happens both in slip and fall, trip and fall, and auto accidents. And age is really not the determining factor. We see fractured vertebrae in people of all ages, including children.
Mm. So those are things that would be definitely you need to bring to the attention, especially if you had an auto accident. Like you say, you have an auto accident and you have this vertebrae break. What are the steps? Do you help them in recovering not only the expenses, but do you help them direct them to doctors and things like that? What's the responsibility with Lauri J. Goldstein Associates?
Barry, our firm is very committed to a comprehensive approach to every client's case. I would say the typical scenario on a fractured vertebrae case is a diagnosis through the emergency room, something they diagnose by x-ray, CAT scan, that kind of thing. Then they usually get released from the emergency room, usually in a cervical collar, sometimes a back brace, sometimes both. Then they get referred by the hospital sometimes they don't, to an orthopedic surgeon for that. If the clients come into our firm, we try to guide them, because they just don't know, the best route to take to see the appropriate doctors so that they can get the best recovery from their injuries possible.
Sometimes it when you get into an accident, and I had one recently, and David, I got to say, you were terrific in helping me out with that particular situation, because I did not realize that when you have an auto accident, there's a clock ticking on when you're going to have a time to get to a doctor and that sort of thing and make a claim. Can you expound on that just a little bit?
Sure, Barry. There are multiple clocks that start ticking from the moment an accident happens. The most serious one is probably the statute of limitations, which in Florida is 4 years. In an auto accident context, there are other limitations imposed by the personal injury protection statute, which, if my memory serves, was amended back in January of 2013, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it did put some chilling limitations on people's rights to recover their PIP benefits, which by statute in Florida are $10,000. And the most chilling part is that if you don't receive what the statute defines as an emergency medical condition by a medical doctor within 14 days of your accident date, you could potentially forfeit $7,500 of your $10,000 in PIP benefits, which is important because then when we get ready to settle a case, if the PIP benefits have been limited to $2,500, the client then has an additional $7,500 in bills that they're responsible for paying because they didn't get the full benefit of $10,000 of benefits.
Wow, and that can add up. There's no question about that, because there's a certain residual effect. Sometimes you can have an accident and then kind of walk away from it, and the adrenaline is pumping so much that you don't notice that you have been injured. And you can say, no, I'm fine, and then 3 days or a week goes by, and then all of a sudden I can't hardly get out of the car. I can't hardly get out of bed in the morning. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you talk to an attorney and get the medical, first of all, get the medical process going too as well. What's the best number to call for the Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm if you have questions about that?
Barry, we tried to make this an easy part of the process, and the phone number for a law firm of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates is 772-222-2222.
So it's the number 2 call.
Absolutely.
I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, David, thanks so much for answering those questions and getting us into the show here today on the Lauri J. Goldstein Thursday edition of the show. By the way, we will be back next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at a regular time. We had a little technical glitch for last Tuesday's of this week's show, but we've got that corrected, and so we said, hey, if we can do it Thursday, we'd love to do it, because there's so many things that are happening with what's going on with Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, and what's going on in the community. Coming up in our next segment, which follows the break, we're going to be talking with Bill West, who is the brand new CEO of Molly's House. If you're not familiar with Molly's House, you want to really pay special attention to this, because this is a great 501c3 that's been around for, as Bill says, 20 years now, coming up 20 years, and find out what a great asset this is to our community, and why the Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm has been involved with Molly's House for such a great long period of time in its philanthropic work here in the community. It's coming up next right here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show on 1450 WSTU and WSTU1450.com.
Have a legal question? Talk to Lauri for free. 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU.
Well, you may not be able to talk to Lauri today because she's in court today, but we do have a great representative, a super attorney from the legal firm of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, David Aversa here. So if you do have a question, by all means, and especially if it's in the personal injury realm, please give us a call, 220-9788, and David's here to answer your question on anything that you'd like to ask him about as far as personal injury litigation. But right now, on this segment, we're so glad to have Bill West, a good friend of mine and a good friend of the law firm of Lauri J. Goldstein, and we're so pleased that the folks at Molly's House, the board of directors, have placed you in a great position of authority, the CEO position with Molly's House. And Bill, welcome to the program again.
Great place to be with a great organization. Thank you. Thank you, Barry.
I'll tell you what, and I've seen this whole idea grow right out of the ground. I've been here since 1982. And saw this, and it was a need. There was a definite need for this. So, Bill, if you would, there's probably a lot of listeners out there right now that don't know what Molly's House is all about.
Sure.
And what is Molly's House?
Like Molly's House, it really says a lot about Stewart. It says a lot about the heart of Stewart. It's a community. Molly Sharkey was a young lady who developed a rare form of leukemia. And part of her vision as she was going through that, she stayed at a lot of Ronald McDonald's houses and those types of homes when the parents were traveling looking for cures, getting support, and saw the burden that it created for her parents and wanted to create something like that here in Stewart.
And that's why we have Molly's House.
That's exactly why we have Molly's House.
And it's open for any age patient and their families, and not just children, right?
Right. So Molly passed in 1992. Between that period and the groundbreaking was actually in 1995. There was a great deal of community support for the home, to construct a home. It's a very large home.
Yes, it is.
It's almost 11,000 square feet. There's 14 total guest rooms. 2 of those are large family suites, and then there's 12 additional rooms. There's also a library, a lounge area, living area is a better
yes.
word.
Like a living room. It is. It's very comfortable.
Exactly. Up on each floor, there's a little kind of sitting area with games and toys, a kitchen for the guests to be able to use, common bathrooms in each room, so the guests have access to that. But it's just an amazing vision for a young lady, and amazing that the community, the family in the community, could pull this together, and we have this asset now.
And a nice relaxing garden. That's the other thing that it has going for it too, is you get this nice relaxing garden that you can go out behind Molly's house and just kind of sit there and contemplate and kind of, decompress from, the stress that having somebody in your family having a terrible disease, bears down on you.
Yeah, the executive director of Molly's House, Louise, who's retired from Molly's House, she had a lot of vision for this garden. It is beautiful. Serenity Garden, different chambers, different areas with different feels, a gazebo out there. Just nice, relaxing, great place to be.
And it does give you that break that you definitely need, because just recently I had a few months going through the end of my mother's life, and she was going through some really difficult situations with her health, and going to the hospital every day, and you don't realize what kind of pressure and what kind of stress factor that is for caregivers and for people who are looking to have something happen positive for their loved one who's in serious shape. And to have a place like Molly's House so close to Martin Memorial Hospital or the Cancer Center there at Martin, it's just a godsend. It really is.
We're really literally almost across the street from the hospital. Very convenient. If you think about it, even if you're in the area, as you said, you have a patient at the hospital, it can be a burden getting back and forth. But can you imagine being from somewhere else in Florida, somewhere else in the United States, somewhere else internationally, having a family member who's at Martin Memorial or at one of the other local hospitals, and having to make that travel, having to put your life on hold, even when you are in close proximity, you're literally, your life goes on hold when something happens.
Oh yeah.
And it's just nice to have that sanctuary, that place comfort that you can go to.
Yeah, it's right there on East Osceola. So it's what is it? 430, I think.
430.
430 East Osceola. So if you've been on your way to the hospital, it's that big, beautiful yellow, beautiful building that looks like a mansion actually in downtown Stewart.
3-story Victorian building. It's about a half of a block that we have there with the Serenity Garden and the home. It is a beautiful place. Nice place to go to work.
Yeah, exactly. I would think so. And how's that working for you?
Really good. Really
working
good.
pretty good.
And the mission is right. I mean that's the real
Yes.
thing. Again, as I said, it really is the heart of Stewart. The business of the organization, really there's two businesses. So there's one is supporting the patients, supporting their families, giving them a place to stay, and then the other side of that mission is how do you fund that support. So
Exactly.
families can stay at the home. We suggest a $20 donation. If a family can't meet that donation, they will be staying at the home or not. And obviously $20 doesn't cover the cost of
I don't know where you can stay for $20. I can't stay in my house for $20 a day. For crying out loud, But to have that opportunity is great. And then I suppose that you would. How does the funding work for Molly's House? Is it sponsorships? Is it do you get grants? How does that work?
It's pretty broad, pretty diversified. So it's like there's really three, as you mentioned, grants, sponsorships, and then there is a lot of still ongoing community support. There are people in this community that just give generously on a recurring basis to help support Molly's House.
Oh, it's tremendous.
It is.
That's great. One of the things that I remember, that's extra special and different for Molly's House than some of the other nonprofit organizations out there is that you actually have a art gallery inside Molly's House. And tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the art gallery, it's open. It's part of the Arts Council's tour of their art galleries around town. We have various artists from the local area primarily who display their art during season. Have an opening in December, and really that's one of our events. That's it's nice to be able to get residents. It's nice for the guests. It's nice for local residents, local businesses to be able to come into the community. But then we also have two other events that really help support the mission of the home. So these are major fundraisers for the home. The next one coming up is our Pret a Manger, and I've finally gotten comfortable with saying that term.
Really, yes. I'm glad you said it and not me, because I was hoping somebody would say that before I had to announce it.
Well, the word manger sounds like eat. Mangia is eat in Italian.
It's a small taste.
Okay.
Yes, a small taste.
You're there. Very good. Very good, Frank.
Pret a Manger. Yeah, I like that.
it.
Yeah, the funny. I'll abbreviate it Pret just for
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of people will. Pret looks like it's the most complicated the way they write it.
Yeah, but it actually works out pretty good because it is one of those wonderful opportunities where you can come in and you can get a small taste of what Molly's House is all about, right?
Great description. Very, very good description. And we have a lot of local caterers, a lot of local restaurants who will come in that evening, provide a small taste, so you get to sample many of the local dining establishments in the community and support a great fundraiser. We have raffles and auction items, silent auction item.
And that all ends up being part of what's raised on this particular event. Now, when is that going to be taking place?
That is November 2nd.
November 2nd. Okay. So is that a Saturday?
It's actually a Monday.
It's a Monday.
Evening. They like to coordinate. It helps the restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants. It's easier for them to close on Monday evenings.
Right.
And, not a lot of people have plans on Monday evenings either. So.
And that's really cool because it's going to be right after the air show, which is another one of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates' wonderful opportunities to serve the community as a community partner. Right. The firm is always involved in the Stewart Air Show, and we are again this year. And so Monday, the Monday after the air show, make plans to now go to the Pret-a-Manger.
Pret-a-Manger.
Pret-a-Manger. Now, is it a ticketed event? How do you work that?
$50 a ticket.
Okay.
Tickets will be available at the house, and then we'll also announce other areas locally that will be. We're a little ways out from it, but getting prepared. It's going.
Sure.
We have a tremendous committee that is, and a lot of supporters. That's been one of the really neat things about the house. Like I mentioned, the two businesses. So we really have two sets of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
We have these wonderful, primarily ladies who volunteer to man the front desk at the house, and then you also have community business people that you're used to seeing around doing the normal fundraising type events.
Sure. And that all ends up being part of and parcel of what, makes this such a great opportunity to have this Molly's House here. Now, you're the CEO. You're looking ahead now. You're looking
Yes.
ahead into the future for Molly's House. Where do you see the next 5 years for Molly's House?
There's a vision there. The big thing is to grow the mission. It's growing the local support, getting a broader base in the community. There was certainly an early initial thrust where everybody knew, and a lot of people, most people you speak with do know about Molly's House. It's getting that top of mind awareness, getting people to remember it's there. So I have two missions again. One is working with the hospital, the referring physicians and caseworkers at the hospital. There are also some other treatment centers and hospitals, hospice. So going out and making sure that we are adequately fulfilling our mission, keeping the house full and making sure that patients that are in the area that have a need know we're there to fill that need.
Right.
And then the other side of that is creating the funds to fill that need, looking for sponsors, looking for that ongoing support, broadening. Anyone has an opportunity to speak to a Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, any kind of group like that. I would love to speak with you.
Great. That's a very good opportunity. And what's the best way to get in touch with you, Bill?
772-223-6659.
Okay. And is that the Molly's House phone number?
It's the house. You get to speak to one of our wonderful volunteers to answer the phone, and
they are great too.
They are wonderful.
Yeah, they really do care, and that's the thing, and that's what that is the mantra and the slogan that is used quite frequently with Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates. Not only are they working hard to help the injured, but they're also a community partner that cares. One of the things that the firm of Lauri J. Goldstein has done for many years, and that is we did the Angel Run with Molly's House, and we've not only done that here in the Stewart area, but there was also a run that we did in Fort Pierce. And where do you see? Do you see that? Are you going to be doing some of those events, or where do you see that?
Potentially. Right now, we're really focusing. So there's the two events. There's the Pret-a-Manger that we mentioned, and then we have Polo and Paella.
Yeah, Paella.
Paella.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah, because I'm a paella man. What can I tell you?
Good job.
I love paella. Are you kidding? Polo and paella.
Well,
and that's
we will have paella at both events.
Exactly.
So
Okay, good.
At least twice.
Good. So,
but that's coming up March 5th.
Okay.
And that is a Saturday.
Oh, wonderful. And that is going to be a lot of fun. And so get out your chuckers and, get ready to stomp the chuckers and all that kind of stuff.
That appears to be turning into our major event. It was a huge success this year, and we're looking forward to growing that event. And it's just a lot of fun.
It is. It is a great time. And, of course, it takes sponsorship. And that's another thing.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
on Pret-a-Manger, we are looking for a signature sponsor there. We have a lot of sponsors lined up, but there's still an opportunity for a title signature sponsorship there. So
sure.
If anyone's interested in that.
All right.
And then obviously Polo's coming up. We're really gearing up, and Pret-a-Manger is what's on our minds right now.
That's good. And again, what's that number to call?
772-223-6659.
You have a website for Molly's House?
Molly'sHouse.org.
Molly'sHouse.org. That's good. That's an opportunity for you to check out the facilities even before you that you get there.
Yes, I encourage
And you
anyone
can
to.
do a
That's-
virtual. I think can't you do a virtual tour on that site?
There's not a virtual. There's a video of Molly actually speaking about her dream and everything, which is nice
Wow.
on the website. But it's a very good overview, easy to get through. We just launched a new website last week that it's a very very modern.
And
Simple.
very powerful, sounds like,
is.
with Molly
It
on
is.
it like that.
Yes.
She was something else, that girl.
Yeah.
She really was.
Yeah, it's great to.
Well, Bill, thank you so much. Bill West, the CEO, the new CEO of Molly's House, and we wish you the best. And you can guarantee yourself that a law firm of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, is going to be sponsoring with Molly's House this year. That's for sure.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
And the years to come. We thank you for joining us here for this segment. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show. We're going to be right back, and we're going to be talking with David Aversa, attorney with Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, and we're also going to be speaking with our good friend Frank Messapel, who is with the Kiwanis Club of Stewards. We're going to talk about the event that's taking place tonight, and we'd love to have everybody attend. It's going to be the grand opening of the Kiwanis Park in downtown Stewart. We're going to talk about that next, right here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show, Thursday edition.
Have a legal question? Talk to Lauri for free. 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU.
We are back here with the Lauri J. Goldstein Show, and yes, it's not Tuesday, but it's Thursday, and we're taking a little extra time this week. We didn't have the show on Tuesday due to a technical difficulty, but we're back today on this Thursday with an opportunity to talk with David Aversa, who is an attorney, has been with Lauri J. Goldstein for 5 years. The Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm located at 1330 Southeast Federal Highway in Stewart. That's a building that's easily recognizable.
Yes.
And, I love that. It's got the Miss Justice on top of the building there. That's pretty cool. I like that. And of course, a big sign on US 1 that really gives you the entire focus of the firm. And David, tell us a little bit about that focus of the firm. It's more than just slip and fall. There's other nuances to the personal injury litigation focuses, isn't there?
Barry, our firm concentrates on personal injury pretty much exclusively, but we carry Lauri's philosophy of being a community partner that cares over to the legal side, and we try our best. We get a lot of phone calls every day from clients that have other types of cases, and they just don't know where to go. So Lauri, having been a community partner that cares in the Stewart area, the Treasure Coast, really the whole state of Florida for 20 plus years, has the knowledge and resources to help guide these clients in finding a lawyer that would be able to help them in their particular need, if it's not something that we specialize in.
Right. So it's a referral opportunity here that you have when you can call Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, which they have the perfect number, 772-222-2222. I mean, you don't even I don't even think you have to put that in your contact list to remember that. But it's very, very easy. But I would advise that if you do have the opportunity to put a number in your contact list, that would be the number, because after you would call the police in an accident, definitely call 772-222-2222 and talk with someone at the law firm of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates. The great thing about that is that we have attorneys available for you to talk to, and that is great. David has been with Lauri for 5 years, but we have some other attorneys too that have been added to the roster as well. And maybe David, you can talk to us a little bit about some of the attorneys that we have with the firm.
Barry, I'd be happy to. We're a 5-attorney firm at the present time. We have attorney Scott Dwyer, along with attorney Dan Norton in our litigation department. Lauri also is the manager of the litigation department. Dan's a board-certified civil trial lawyer here in the state of Florida. And in the claims department, our office is divided into litigation and claims. Just by way of definition, litigation means that a lawsuit has been initiated. We've actually filed a complaint on behalf of the client. And then the downstairs department, that's upstairs, and then the downstairs department is what we call claims, and that's where I am. I'm in the claims department along with attorney Helen McAfee. And Helen's a great new addition to our firm. She brings, I don't want to date her, but high in the 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's close to almost, it's over 25 years, I'm pretty sure.
Definitely is, Barry. And she's a second-generation personal injury attorney in the state of Florida. Her father had a personal injury firm that he was a partner in West Palm Beach, I believe.
Yes.
And Helen tells some fun stories about what a sleepy little hollow West Palm Beach was way back then.
Way back in the day.
And
yes,
now,
I can attest to that. Yeah.
So we have a great team right now. In addition to our 5 attorneys, we have a pretty big support staff, numerous paralegals. We have a really nice young lady, Shantae Potts.
Yes.
Who's getting ready to take the bar exam in a couple of weeks. We're all
I'm excited for her.
Rooting her on and wishing her the best with that major accomplishment.
Yes.
And really a nice mix of people right now. We encourage people to stop by the office, meet the staff, see what we're all about, and just chat with us.
Absolutely. And you can chat in Espanol as well.
Absolutely.
Because, we have some wonderful people in our claims department and in the litigation department that can speak Spanish and are, very fluent in Spanish and English. And, we can certainly help anyone out there who has been injured. And that's the whole idea there. We're working hard to help the injured and a community partner that cares. Speaking of being the community partner that cares, we've spent some time talking about our work with Molly's House with the firm, but right now we want to talk a little bit about what is happening tonight as a dream and a vision that has come to fruition now with a no barrier park that's happening in downtown Stuart, and it's having its grand opening tonight. And with us in studio is Frank Messapel, who's a member of the Kiwanis Club of Stuart, and this was something that the Kiwanis Club of Stuart has really been spearheading, hasn't it?
Yes. Thank you, Barry. Actually, this is a vision that Susie Hutchinson had many years ago. And so when she became president, she says, let's see if we can make this come to fruition. And between her and the governing board in our Kiwanis Club, we put together a program for fundraising. And so over the past 3 years, we've been really working hard to capture enough money. And the city of Stuart got so excited. They says, you know what, if you can get a half we'll match it.
Mm.
And the city has really stepped up huge and really helped us with so many aspects of making that park become a reality.
Right, and this is something that is really needed in our area because we do have people and young people especially that are physically challenged, and to have this opportunity of having somebody who is young, who is wheelchair bound,
Yes.
being able to be at a park and have fun with the other children.
Yeah, and play with their own siblings that they've never been able to do before. Well, what an amazing experience that can be.
It really is, and tonight is going to be the opening night. It's a Thursday night, but that's okay. Anytime you can come out and have free food,
Right.
and enjoy a great time with the family. And there's going to be face painting, and what else are we going to have there tonight?
Well, I guess you mentioned earlier the Martin County Sheriff's Department decided to help out as well, and they're bringing in the big cooker, and they're going to be bringing in that, and we're going to be offering food and beverages, and it's just going to be a great celebration all the way around of a community coming together to turn a dream into reality.
Now, this is not the only thing that's going to be happening at the park, is it?
Right. Yes, exactly right. Because I think going on, we said, after we got the most of the park put together, we said, the problem is that there's not enough shade. So of course we needed to move and remove some trees in order to accommodate this new park expansion. So we want to really emulate some of the covering that we use over at the Riverwalk stage area. So it's going to match the whole appearance of the city. It's a great concept, and so now the kids can play outside, and they'll be playing kind of undercover with some shaded areas, so the playground equipment won't be so hot. It'd be a great opportunity to play all the time.
And all that takes is
money. Yeah, a lot of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's some opportunities there.
Oh yes.
For people to and businesses especially to step up.
Yes.
And help out the Kiwanis Club of Stewart. Now, what's the best way to get in touch with the Kiwanis?
Well, they can actually. We have our own website. They can go to Kiwanis International. They can go to Kiwanis Club of Stewart, the website. Just Google that, and you'll get right to the website. And then there are opportunities to donate right through the website.
And I would think
Bob Burson, he manages that website. He does a great job.
Bob does a great, excellent job. He's a great guy. He did a closing for me one time. He's pretty good at that.
Yes.
So that's his expertise.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, you can go on the site, and I would say that there's probably an opportunity if you wanted to stop by with a check, or maybe just hand some cash off.
Oh yeah.
And just make a donation right there.
Buy a brick.
To buy a brick. There'll be an opportunity there, and I think I know Susie Hutchison is going to be there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to be there because I'm going to be actually doing a live broadcast from there.
That's exactly right.
Calling in some reports.
Yes.
Here on WSTU, so we're looking forward to that. But that's a wonderful opportunity that we have here in Stewart of getting everybody together and not only helping out with the situation of where if there is somebody that has a child with disabilities and other children that don't have disabilities, now they can all play together in a great playground that's very clean and very beautiful
and safe.
And safe.
Right.
And it's just going to be another opportunity for us to say, hey, Stewart's the place to be. It really is. So, Frank, thank you so much for that.
Barry.
We appreciate it. We're going to take another break here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show. We're going to come back and talk with David Aversa one more time here on the show to talk to us a little bit about where we can help out in other areas with your personal injury problems and that sort of thing. So stick around with us here on the Lauri J. Goldstein Show on this Thursday edition of it on 1450 WSTU.
Have a legal question? Talk to Lauri for free. 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU.
Well, good morning to you once again. It's the Lauri J. Goldstein Show. I'm Barry Grant. Glad to be here again with the Lauri J. Goldstein Show. And, of course, Lauri is on assignment, and so is Diane Chandler from Tradewind Realty. But we have David Aversa here with us, and David's been doing a marvelous job in keeping us informed as to what the firm is doing as far as personal injury and that sort of help in recovery, even if you have a child that's injured, that sort of thing. These things happen. And so, what is the procedure to follow? One of the things that I wanted to ask David here in the waning moments of the show here today is that we're a firm that not only can handle your personal injury problems here in Stuart physically, but also we have a pretty good radius. And where does our practice kind of center as far as geographic is concerned?
Obviously, we're concentrated on the Treasure Coast, Indian River County, St. Lucie County, Martin County, Okeechobee County would be our primary area of practice. But we have handled cases and currently are handling cases all over the state. We've had cases in the Panhandle, down in Miami, over on the West Coast. We had a case recently in Fort Myers. So we are a statewide firm. I wanted to remind everybody, Barry, that in addition to our office phone number for law office of Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates, 772-222-2222, Lauri also carries a 24-hour emergency cell phone number, and I wanted to share that number with everyone.
Great.
Because accidents don't happen always at a convenient time.
I don't think they ever do, David, really.
You're right, Barry. Yeah. And that number, 24 hours a day, to talk to Lauri directly is 772-214-6464. And Lauri will take your call, and she takes a lot of pride in providing that service, level of service to her clients.
And I think that is tremendous because, like you say, when you need an attorney, and especially since we're in the personal injury form of law, you need somebody right away. You need to have some questions answered. You need to know that you're going to be taken seriously and be taken care of. And that's what I find that is such a hallmark of the Lauri J. Goldstein and Associates firm. And once again, right here in Stuart is the main office. It's 1330 Southeast Federal Highway in Stuart. Let me ask you this. What if I'm in the hospital and I decide to call the firm? What happens then? And I'm not able to get out of the bed to come into the firm, and the clock is ticking. What do I do about that?
Well, Barry, that's a situation that we encounter often, and our firm is very dedicated to making this very stressful process as comforting and less stressful as possible. So we're happy to make hospital calls, house calls, doctor office calls, wherever the client is. If we can get there, we'll be there.
Wonderful. Well, that is very, very good to know because, as I said, there's sometimes you're totally incapacitated after an accident, and we've been having a lot of accidents lately, and one of the things that the firm really prides itself on is accident prevention too, and it's been very, very helpful in talking about not texting and driving. I've seen some of the commercials on television and that sort of thing, and that's an important factor as well.
Absolutely, Barry. And we had the pleasure of being together recently at the Safety Expo.
Safety Expo, yeah. The safety.
Lauri was the name sponsor, however that works.
Yeah, the title sponsor.
The title sponsor. So community safety is very high on our priority list. We would love to prevent some of these accidents.
Sure.
Because we do see some awful accidents, such an increase in rear-end collisions And you never know exactly why, but probably texting.
Exactly, yeah. So don't text and drive, please. Remember that. Well, the Lauri J. Goldstein Show will be back this coming Tuesday. David Aversa, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and we'll be back on Tuesday with another Lauri J. Goldstein Show.